Thanks for joining in for Learn Python for AI. Today's session, we are going to learn about lists and loops. So in yesterday's session, we have covered functions. So all of these sessions that we are conducting is part of our bigger course, which is AI Bronze, conducted by Pixeltests. Now, Pixeltest is a community of over 1,000 people, Web3 and AI professionals. So let's dive into our sessions. So people who are joining us in our social channels like YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, you can directly click on the link that is there in the chat and directly join us live in our Zoom session. Great. Okay. People who are joining us on our social channels, I'd request you to, directly click the link in the chat and join us live. Great. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks, Sushant. Thanks, Prashant. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks, Priyanka. Thanks, Heidi. Thanks, Thirumal. Thanks everyone for joining in. So I request you to put your name and city you are joining from in the chat section so that we would know you. Thank Balaji sir for joining us live on Zoom itself. Great. Amazing. Hey Rahul, nice to see you back again. Great. So let's begin. We'll proceed forward and learn more about Python today. So let me start my session. I'll be sharing my screen. Before we share our screen, I'm going to share with you the link to today's session. The link to today's session is here. I've shared the link to the session and the session notes here on chat. Great. So if at all you are able to see my screen, you'll be able to see that you will be able to see that we already have a compiler where you can run it. Okay, great. So if you're able to see my screen, type visible, V for visible in the chat. Thank you so much, Naveen. Naveen's from Hyderabad. That's really nice to know, Naveen. Thanks, Suhas, for joining us. Amazing. So people who are joining us for the first time, let me tell you the mode of the program. So every day we meet for 30 minutes and learn a little more about Python. So, and on our 7th day, which happens to be tomorrow, Saturday, you will have the masterclass conducted by Latika ma'am. So let me also share the link to that. So I request you to register for that session where you will be knowing a little bit more about the industry, more about how to take your Python learning to actual industry, right? So share the link on chat. You can go ahead and use that link. And I'm also sharing the link on Zoom chat for people to join in and register for the masterclass of tomorrow as well. Right? Great. Thank you so much. So in today's session, we are going to learn about lists. So till now, we have learned about various variables and individual, variable types. Now we are going to learn one of them, which is lists, right? So list is something like this. So let me print one specific list, right? So we have created a family. The family, the exercise says a list family members in a list in the sequence. Let's say mom, dad, and elder one, right? So mom, dad, and elder one. So you have mentioned each name with a double quote and a comma. And in that way, we have a 3-member list. and this is mentioned in a square bracket, right? So when you run this, basically nothing gets printed because you're not written a print statement. Now I'm going to say print family, and when you run this, you'll be able to see that you are able to print that particular list, right? So I'd request everyone to go ahead and run parallel to me. If you have joined from your mobile device, in that mobile device, the interface would be a little different. You might have to, let me show that. In mobile, you might have to click here, type your commands here, and when you run, the output gets printed in a tab here in the shell, right? You have to write here and it gets printed here, right? So this is just like a test environment. Later on, we can get into a full-fledged Python environment as well, right? Thank you, Priya ma'am, for joining in. So now that we have understood what is a list, right? A list is a collection of various members, which could be strings or numbers. So this is how we define a list, and how do you access members of list? So let us try to do that. So if you are able to run parallel to me, if you are able to open this link parallel to me, type R in the chat box, right? So if you're able to run along with me, type R in the chat box. Thanks, Ashant. Thanks, Sujit. Great. So now we have created a family, and we can access each family member by a notation. So let us try to do that. Now, when I print family, all of them get printed. But now, if I want to access only one member, I give the square bracket and I give something called index. So this is index 0, index 1, index 2. So always anything in Python starts with 0. So the index here is 0. So if I say print family of 0, which means print the 0th member of that particular list called family. If I'm going to run it, so you can see that Indira got printed, right? So if you have understood how to access by index, type U in the chat box. So instead of directly writing print family, we give a square bracket where we tell what is the position of that particular item. So when you say 0, 0th item will get printed. When you print 2, 0, 1, 2, that particular item will get printed. So you can see that this new item that got printed here, right? So if you have understood what is a list, right? And if you have understood how to access members of a list, right? Type U in the chat box. Great. Okay, so I can see that many people are typing U in the chat box. That's great. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, great. So let's proceed forward. So Naveen, Suhas, or Priya ma'am, if you have any queries, you can ask us. If you're able, are you able to run this parallelly along with me? You can even unmute and let us know. Yes, Naveen sir says yes. So Naveen, is this the first time you're joining us? You can unmute and speak. Yes, okay. So do you have a little programming background? Did you ever work with Python before? Yes, you can let us know. If it is possible for you to unmute and speak, yeah. Yeah, so yes, Naveen says yes, but I need to start from basics again. Okay, so it should not be a problem, Naveen. So we are covering from basics, right? So thanks for sharing these details with us. Great. Now we have identified how to create a list, how to access a list by index, right? So now you can do a lot of things with this. You can print names of the family members, like by saying 0 will print this, 1 will this, 2 will this. You can do the first exercise in the same fashion. So what we are trying to do here is, if we are going to print this like this, we're saying print sweet mom is, and then we have given plus and family of 0. When you run it, it says sweet mom is in the run, right? So it is automatically picking it from the family of 0 and adding this to the previous string, right? So this is how we access members of a list, right? So now if you want to add a new member to any list, so how do you do that? We use this function called append, right? So family is the name of the list, and there we are using one function called dot append, right? So when you when you do this dot append and give a new member, it will get added to the end, right? So if I'm going to run it and then print family, you will be able to see that a new member got added. Okay. So let us remove this particular statement. Okay. You can see that a new member Sachi has got added here, right? So if you understood this dot append function, type U in the chat box. Great. Amazing. Thanks, Prashant. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks, Rachana. Thanks, Has. That's great. Okay. So, and people who are joining us now, just now, I'd request you to go and sign up for our link, our session that happens tomorrow. The link is in the chat. You can see that here you can go click on register and register for tomorrow's session, right? So this session happens on Saturday, tomorrow Friday, tomorrow Feb of 4th and 7 p.m. Here you will know more details about what happens after you learn program and how to look for jobs and what is the whole AI industry about and how you can be part of this particular industry, right? So all of these details are shared in the session that happens tomorrow, right? That's great. Okay, so let's come back to our session. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Ravi, for joining in. And now we have added one member to the family. Now, if at all we want to update a member to family, right? So let's just say we have added Sachi here. And now what do we want is we want to update Sachi and change it to, let's just say, Sachi. Okay. So you want to change it. So what do? You identify by index, right? So what is Sachi's position here? Now you can see that 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So Sachi is there on the third index of that particular list. And you are going to give that index here and going to say equal to and say the new word, the new AI member name, and then you run it. So the family now will have Indira, Madhu, Somu, and Prachi. So the Sachi that we added by using the append function will now get updated because you're giving a new value, right? So this is a new value which is getting updated. So we are printing family once again, right? So I'm going to remove it here and I'm going to run it. So now you can see that Indira, Madhu, Somu, and the Sachi got updated to Prachi, right? So if you understood how to update any particular index value in the list, if you understood that, type U in the chat box. Yes, so people who are joining us now or even on our social channels like YouTube, you can leave your inputs in the comment section or in the chat section. The link to join us live on Zoom is there on the YouTube chat. If you want to register for our webinar that is happening tomorrow. The message has been pinned. Now you can see that on YouTube itself, there is a blue color ribbon where you can join there, register for tomorrow's masterclass, where more details also get shared. Right. So if you have any questions in the meanwhile, we'd be happy to take. Right. So even about today's session, or even about your career related questions, any query related to AI and AI jobs, you can go ahead and ask us, right? So Naveen, Suhas, Priya, Ravi, if you have any questions, you can unmute and ask, or you can even put it on the chat as well, right? So if there is no question, and we can then you can type N in the chat box also. Great. Okay, so Prashant asks, yeah, thank you so much, Suhas. Yeah, so now Prashant asks, he is currently having a 1 year gap. Will will tomorrow's webinar help him get more clarification? So Prashant, we have in our community many members who have gap of even higher. So that should not be a problem. That should not be a hindrance. Take confidence and join us tomorrow. You'll understand how people are hiring for talent, and you will also understand how you can be part of it. So that should not be a problem, right? Thanks for the question, Prashant. Great. Amazing. Any other questions, you can put it in the chat. People who are watching us on social channels, you can put it on the chat of social channels. It will reach us. If people who are there with us on Zoom, you can directly ask us in Zoom chat itself. Okay. So let's resume. Now we have updated this particular member. Now, what do is we do something called slicing. Let's try to do that particular portion. So now we have a bigger list. The bigger list is family. Okay. Now, whenever you want to print family, you have these 4 members in the family. But you know that these first 2 members are parents, and the other 2 are siblings, right? So you want to create a new list with parents and siblings separately. So how do you do that, right? So that is what we'll learn now. So we first have to create a new list name, let's say, sorry, parents. I've created a new list, and then what I'm saying here is, you can see from the exercise given below that family of 0 to 2, from 0 to 2. So parents is going to be a slice starting from 0, first member and second member, right? So if you check this, first 0th member and the next member both get added into the new list that got created, right? So I'm going to print parents. If you run this, you'll know what members are there in the parents. So one thing to notice, when you say 0 to 2, it will go from 0 till 2 minus 1, meaning 0 and 1. So 0 and 1 will get added, right? So let me run this. Now you can see that in parents, there are only Indira and Madhu, but you can still print the whole of the family that is unchanged, right? So parents is nothing but a slice or a subset of family. So you're not changing the family, right? So you just create list, say parents, right? So if you run it, you'll be able to see that the family list is as is, and a new list got created, parents, right? So if at all you want to create another list, let's just say siblings, say brothers and sisters, what you can do is you can do family of say 2 to 4. Okay, 2 and 3 will get saved here, right? You can even leave this number, like let's just say if there are more members in the family, you can leave this 4 as empty, 2 to till end, right? After 2, how many ever people are there, add it to siblings. This is what the meaning of this is there, right? So when you run, okay, so let me print siblings. I'm going to run it. So now you can see that the family is as is and the siblings are Somu, Kama, Raj, right? So this is how you can slice a portion from the bigger list and use it as needed by you, right? So if you have understood slicing on lists, type U in the chat box. Great. People who have joined us late. Yeah, so let me explain a little about the program. So these Learn Python in 7 days session are part of our bigger program. So more details about the program and all of these are being given out in our session that is happening, the masterclass that happens tomorrow, taken by Latika ma'am. So this intent of this session is to make more people confident about Python and that they can also do it. As you join our masterclass, you'll know how to go forward. Now that you will be able to take out that fear of Python or programming out, you'll learn more about how to go forward in tomorrow's masterclass. So the link to the masterclass is there on the chat. So you can join, click there and register. Great. So if you have any questions, you can ask us in the chat, any of our social channels or on Zoom. Great. Okay, Sushmita asks, I am a homemaker. Will this help me? Definitely, ma'am, because now people are able to work remotely. That is one benefit. And if at all this is the first time that you are working, there are many ways to get into the work stream as well, right? So there are opportunities where you can first learn as a trainee and then get into a full-time role as well. There are a lot of roles that come up, and LinkedIn is one place where you can start off, right? So I think that should not be a problem. And we have many people in our community who are homemakers and started their careers from homes, right? So that is a possibility in today's state. Thank you so much for asking. Yeah, thanks Ashutosh for joining us. Great. So if any of you have any other questions, you can put it in the chat. Else we will also continue. If there's anything, you can just keep putting in the chat itself. Great. So now we have understood about lists, right? So if lists is clear, type C in the chat box. Thanks, Suchit. Thanks, Prashant. Thanks, Priyanka. Thanks, Suhas. Now, what I'm going to do is, now we have worked with lists of strings, right? Let us try to clear all of these and create a list of numbers, right? So what happens here is we're going to create a list. Here you can note that we do not use any double quotes here, right? So you're not having any double quotes here. You can see in that list name numbers, there are 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So if I'm going to print numbers, I'm going to run it. So it will be able to print numbers. But what happened here in the other two portions is, you can see that here we also printed numbers of 0 plus numbers of 2, meaning the value that is at position 0 plus the value that is at position 2. So 5 and 7. So 5 plus 7 is 12, and that got printed. And then multiply a number at position 1 and number at position 3. So this is 0, 1, 2, and 3. So number 1 and 3, 6, 8 are 48. So those two also got printed here, right? So you can do a lot of arithmetic like this based on lists of numbers. So this is how you can also create lists that have numbers in it, not just strings. You can also create lists of numbers. Great, amazing. So that is a little about lists, right? So in tomorrow's session, we are going to cover more about loops. right? So I'd request you to also go through the previous sessions if you are joining us for the first time. So how do you go through our previous sessions is on the channel itself. There is a section called live. In that live, you'll be able to see that yesterday, there was another live that happened. You can revise the concepts from there. The link to the practice will be either in the chat or in the description. Yeah, so basically, Suhas asked question, could you suggest a laptop for programming? So basically, Suhas, how this works is what language or what programming you are going to learn is something that also will depend. But I would suggest to go for anything over i5 and an 8 GB RAM, right? So if you are able to get a better processor, and this is a basic, you can go for i5 and over 8 GB RAM, you will be able to work decently, right? Because if at all you want to learn Python, if you are speaking about Python only, Python you can even learn and work on from a browser. So having a bigger RAM would be helpful in trying to run with multiple tabs or multiple programs altogether, right? So data science. So data science also, this is a very good start. If at all you can flex your budgets, go for a i7 processor as well, right? So you can do that. Minimum i5 is something that you can look for. And hard disk is something not very important in terms of when you're trying to learn about programming and all. Anything a 500 or over hard disk SSD or normal hard disk also would do. Hard disk is something that we are not concerned about. Concerned more about the processor and RAM, because performance, you do not want your programs or these things to be slower, right? That's what I would suggest. Great. Thank you so much for this question. So you can learn Python from browser itself, run complex projects from browser itself. So you need something of a bigger RAM, right? So it also depends upon what all other things you do. So if at all you are into anything like sort of gaming and that sort of high definition usage or something, media or something, then you might also look for a graphics card also, right? So Ashutosh asks, how about programming in browser? So basically you can see this. If we're talking about data science and Python, so this is where we actually have given a link where you can do nominal level of coding. But if at all you want to do some complex coding, this is a platform provided by Google where you can learn and do Python and data science or machine learning related programming, right? So here you can do anything like that. Right. Right. So if at all you're these such things you'll not be able to do here on normal programs. So here this you can even start learning and program directly from the browsers. Yes, sir. So sir, yes, sir. I think in these questions will get better answered even tomorrow as well. But 7 years of gap is something post engineering, because you have some other work experience, is not like a gap, right? So you're still you've still worked for some time, so this should not be a problem. Switching to data science is completely possible if at all you have roughly 1 to 1.5 hour a day kind of a bandwidth, or you are able to make that kind of a bandwidth. That is possible. In tomorrow's session, Latika ma'am explains that there are 3 levels in learning data science or AI. So basically, the first module is data science, and then machine learning, and then there is deep learning, right? So we are first concerned about the data science, which is well within reach of many people, right? So when you go for data science related jobs, there are roles where you can become a data analyst, or the activities, the job description would require you to do pre-processing, where you get lots of data and make it ready for being used by machines, or all those things using some models. All of this is very much simple. You can even do all of the data science in this collab itself, right? So for those roles, the salaries or packages start from anywhere between 9 LPA to 12 LPA, right? So even if you are for tech, if you consider yourself to be a fresher also, the need in the demand in the market is like that. So that should not be a problem. So Hasan, so you have to upskill, put honest and consistent efforts. I'm 100% sure that you'll be able to make it. We have many people in our community members who are doing it. So I'm 100% sure, right? So so Ashutosh, this is I hope I was able to point you out in one direction. So thank you so much. Yes, thanks. So now, so this is how you can type, do programming here. So you can see that I have entered here, and so it will be able to run from there itself, right? So this is how you can do a lot of things here. We also have within our program how to do all of this as well, right? We have run many, even in our previous sessions also, we have worked with previous data. We have shown how to make plots, can be done. So more information here, we are talking about coding and technical related. Tomorrow's session will give you more idea on how to understand the whole market, where you can see yourself, what position you can apply for, all those things, right? So yes, Sushant asks a link for that tomorrow's session. Let here. Great. The link is here. People who are watching us live on YouTube, link is here. I just missed initial part. Can I see recordings? Yes, Ravi sir, you can go ahead and watch our live section of the channel. You can see previous day sessions also, 1 day before, 2 day before sessions also. You can go ahead and learn. And tomorrow we have our masterclass. Post our masterclass, we'll again resume back again. Yes, Ashutosh. All of it is already registered. Ashutosh says already registered. Thank you so much, Ashutosh. So previous sessions are all available on YouTube itself. Yeah. Great. I hope today's session was valuable for most of you. And if there's any query, you can always reach out to us here. You can put your comments here, and we'll take them up in our upcoming sessions. And I definitely request you, because it is tomorrow only, the masterclass is tomorrow. So I request you to go ahead and join there and understand. It will be at 7 o'clock, correct? Yeah, so it will be at 7 o'clock tomorrow, Sushmita. So you can go ahead, join us, and more information you will have there. Great. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great one. Bye. Yes, thank you so much. Thanks, Ashutosh sir. Thanks, Ravi sir. Thanks, Suhas sir. See you tomorrow then.